I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Megan. Thank you so much, Megan. If anyone wants to request any other type of videos, topics, reactions, reviews, lists, pretty much anything, feel free to request it either directly to my PayPal, send it there, or send it, or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. Now, this is for Cat People from 1942, and directed by Val Lewton. RKO company back in the day, they wanted their own monster movies because they saw that Universal was being very successful with Frankenstein and Dracula, among many others. So we want some of our own, so you get this guy Val Lewton to make Cat People, but RKO was very disappointed because it's not really that type of film. It's much more of a slow burn. It's a slow burn movie where you barely see any monsters. Once in a while you see a panther and shadows. And it's one of those movies that, watching it, it's my first time viewing it, I didn't hate it. It was more interesting in a respectful, historical manner than truly enjoying it. I did like two scenes. They're the scenes that people mention with this movie the most. One is when a woman is going home. Well, she's going to the bus stop. She's on the sidewalk. She's hearing footsteps. She turns. There's nobody there. It's building up. It's a decent way of building up suspense. Is someone going to get her? Is someone coming after her? There's something in the trees, something there. More so in this swimming pool sequence where she's in the locker room, she sees a shadow, hears weird, creepy, panther-like noises. She has nowhere to go. She has to dive into the pool, and then we see like shadows and hear noises, and she's looking around, can't see anything, screaming for help. Again, well shot, nice way of building up suspense. The movie's only an hour and 12 minutes, so it's not a long film. The acting, yeah, I understand, this is different type of acting than nowadays. And same with the movie. I mean, it's in black and white. It is interesting watching films of the 30s and 40s. And I liked some of those movies. I liked Frankenstein and Dracula and The Invisible Man. I liked Metropolis. I liked the Giorgio Moroder Metropolis more, but I liked the original Metropolis as well. That version. Abbott Costello, Three Stooges, Red Skelton. I enjoy that stuff. I truly do. So, it's interesting to go back and see the different techniques, the different styles, the different way a film is paced, and how actors, how they behave, and how uniquely different they are to a movie nowadays, where a movie nowadays you would be more than more than likely hear cussing, certain type of dialogue, certain type of jokes, certain type of humor or blue humor, certain type of conversations that may seem more basic or more heavily referential to movies or TV shows or video games, or more self-deprecating or more winky at the audience, or any amount of sort that would be in a film, let alone a horror film. But you see a film back then, it's much more different in how proper, how serious they took it. Even these B movies, they took it 100% serious. It wasn't, oh, we make it a B movie, just be goofy. No, the actors, the direction, the look, dead serious. So even a movie about a woman who is a Serbian-born woman meets this guy, they talk at her apartment. Sometime later, they get married, but then she thinks if she gets intimate, she will turn into some type of cat, panther, monster, whatever, because of this history with her legacy that of other people going through that. And then she starts having nightmares. Not real. I guess you say nightmares, yeah. And the husband doesn't know what to do. He confides in with his coworker, character named Alice, and you could tell that Irena, our lead, played by Simone Simon. Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Irena. She's getting jealous of Alice and getting jealous of Alice and her husband talking with each other, and then she's sent to a psychiatrist. It's just a very slow burn. And you could easily make the argument by the 45 minute mark of this hour and 12-minute movie, really not much has happened, technically. The guy buys her a cat, the cat hisses, doesn't want to be with her, so leaves. They get married. She went into a pet shop. Animals react violently towards her. She's playing with a bird, but the bird dies. Apparently it died of fright. Talked to a psychologist. And then the husband talked with his coworker. That's kind of what happens in the first 45 minutes. And like I said, it's very different from a movie nowadays. Because a movie back then, because as an audience member, you haven't gone through the various techniques of horror, sci-fi, whether it be the 50 sci-fi films, whether it be Alien and all the 80s special effects and makeup effects, and at times movies need to get faster and faster pace. At times, some are not. There's still movies that still take their time. But here, more so, it took less to steer people. It took less to frighten people. It took less to impress people. I don't mean that as a negative note. I'm just saying, as people, the more you see, the more you get desensitized. Whether it be to certain effects of horror, or blood, or really, yeah, of horror itself. You'll get desensitized. So, while there's really nothing that creeped me out, scared me, and while, yes, as a person of modern age, I look back on this and okay, it's really taking its time, to me a bit too slowly. I don't get mad because, like I said, it's a short film. People gave Simone a bad rap in terms of acting. I thought she did fine as the lead, as Irena. I mean, even the movie dictates she's Serbian born, so she's not going to be the most fluent in English, but I don't think she was terrible in any way. Her husband, he's just as fine of an actor as you would find in most of these horror films of the day. You know, dialogue, "You're in love with me," or "Good plain Americano." You know, that type of dialogue. But I appreciate the direction. One of the early times the two talk on the couch, in the back you see the shadow of a cat. One of the statues. Okay, nicely lit and framed. And the sidewalk scene, where there's a shot where it's the coworker Alice, she keeps hearing stuff, then there's a point she turns, and as she turns, it cuts to, we see towards her, and she looks back, and in the same shot, we see that there's nothing behind her, nothing at all, and you're wondering what's going to happen next. Again, that was decently done in a suspenseful way. Same with I mentioned the swimming pool scene. Not only because of the lighting, not only because of the use of shadows, but the sound design. Like the dripping water in that locker room gave a nice little moody effect. Again, those are definitely the scenes, and particularly the swimming pool scene, that is effective. But like I said, if a person nowadays, especially younger, watches this, would they be impressed? I don't think so. But as someone who I do appreciate movie history. I do. I like movie history. I like learning about it. That's one of the things I remember back in the day, getting a kick of seeing some of these monster movies on Turner Classic. Because Turner Classic Movies, they'd show the film. Sometimes on AMC they would do this too. Like AMC and a horror. When it was horror month, sometimes AMC would do that. But mostly like Turner Classic Movies, they have a host and they talk about the making of the film, and then let's get back to our program. So it's more Turner Classic. And yeah, I appreciate that stuff. Especially when it comes to horror and action. Maybe not so much, well, even comedy. I appreciate what comedy as well. Like action, horror, and comedy, I would say, are my three favorite genres. But it's a different vibe compared to a movie today. Now, the remake of Cat People, I've seen the film. Sadly, I don't remember much about it, other than the music by David Bowie. I don't remember being a big fan of the remake. At least this film is shorter. At least it's more interesting to look at on a historical note. But yeah, I don't remember much about the remake. Funny enough. But yeah. It's nice that they use an actual panther in certain shots. And the ending, you kind of have, spoiler alert, 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Because the husband and the co-worker, they're like, we should commit her to an institution. She's losing it, get committed. The panther tries to attack the couple. The guy gets like a cross, and I didn't know a panther was a vampire, but apparently it still worked. And stay back, evil, whatever the hell he said, and the panther says, fuck this. This guy's crazy. You got a cross almost as big as him. Leaves, and then kills the psychologist, the psychologist, whatever the fuck he was. Maybe psychiatrist. What the fuck? Kills him by shadows. You see a little bit of the panther. But then Irena, our lead, walks to a cage where there's another panther at the zoo. Opens it. The panther jumps out, hits her, runs off, gets hit by a car. When the couple, the husband and the co-worker, find Irena, they just find the dead body of another panther. And I think the husband says she wasn't lying. She was telling the truth. You find that kind of ending a lot back in the day, where it seems like an anticlimactic ending, where you know, that's it. That's the thing, a lot of these movies back in the day, it seemed like the ending is quick. We need to wrap it up, boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh, that's it. Like nowadays, it'd be this big epic battle between them and the Panther. Maybe get the done. No, they didn't really do a whole lot of that back in the day. So again, you watch it, it's like, eh. In terms of history, it was nice to watch. It was interesting to watch in that fashion. I don't think it would be a film I watch again, because it still felt a bit too slow. And I like Dracula, and I do like Frankenstein, and Bride of Frankenstein, Invisible Man. Even those I felt went at a little bit of a pace I prefer over this. And I did not mind the acting, but I wouldn't say I loved the characters. And I think the ending was just like, like she killed herself. She knew the Panther would attack her, so she just said, fuck it. Death by Panthercide? Or was it an accident? She was letting the Panther out and the Panther killed her, and ironic accidental death? Or was it Panthercide? Whatever it was. It's like, oh, okay. So if you're someone who is into horror history, yeah, check it out. Again, hour and 12 minutes doesn't take too much of your time. At least you'll get some nice lighting, shadows, one or two fairly decent suspenseful sequences. I know there's people that talk about this film with deeper themes. I didn't really look into that. I kind of looked at it as face value. So, with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.